at the same time, there are business owners, and not just the Republican Party, who say, wait a minute, this may cause us some real problems. And there are some real concerns about that are not completely invalid. And in fact, among those 200,000 folks who I was in conversation with earlier was my 14-year-old daughter, much to my pleasure.
She runs a business. This is incredible. A very precocious kid.
She will. She is very precocious. And so I'm going to exert my host discretion and ask a question that came from her on this very topic. Her name's Colette Blackmon. She told me to ask you, raising the minimum wage to $15 will help many workers come out of poverty, but what about small business owners who can't afford to pay their workers this much and the employees who are subsequently laid off?
Okay, and that's a good question. The answer is, and why I prefer to do a national minimum wage rather than see states and cities just do it, is if we do it nationally, then everybody is in the same boat. And I'm not going to I'm not here to tell you that there will not be cases where people, small businesses, may be negatively impacted. But I think the positive greatly outweighs the negative, because what we have seen over many, many years is the minimum wage has not kept up with inflation, okay? And it is much lower today than it was 30 or 40 years ago. Second point, I believe that the way we create jobs in this country and stimulate the economy is putting money into the hands of working people, millions of whom today have no disposable income whatsoever. So if you raise, if somebody is now making $8 or $9 an hour, and over a period of years, by the way, Doug, we're not talking about doing this overnight. It'll be a gradual increase over a period of years. That worker will now have more money. That worker will be able to go out and buy goods and services. And when he or she does that and spends that money, they then create jobs for other people. So I think if we are serious about trying to move our economy forward and see economic growth, one of the important ways is to put money into the hands of people who do not have it. And people who make $7.25 or $8 an hour do not have it.
I don't want to spend much of our time asking you about your opponents because we're really interested in you. But there are two things I will ask you that relate to Hillary Clinton. One is, this is a question that my daughter did not suggest, but that I ask on her behalf in some respects after having listened to her. And that is that as interesting as you are to her and these ideas that you are presenting, she and millions of other women and young women and girls have also been inspired by the idea that a woman of such accomplishment as Hillary Clinton, who certainly is as qualified to be president as anyone could possibly be, yes. What a triumph it would be for our society for someone like that to be elected president of the United States. So what would you say to my daughter to explain why it is worth it to forego that triumph in her mind and make you president of the United States?
Well, I think your daughter makes a very good point. And I understand there are millions of people, not just women, men as well, who want to see us break down the discriminatory barriers that have been placed in front of women for so many years. But I think when we look at where we are as a country, I think it's important to take a hard look at what the candidates are talking about and how they will respond to the crises that we face. And I think if you compare Hillary Clinton, and I've known Hillary Clinton for 25 years, I consider her a friend, and you're quite right. She has a remarkable record of public achievement. But I think if you look at Hillary Clinton's views on the issues, which is what this campaign is about, I think the views that I am fighting for, the positions that I'm fighting for, will do more to address the very serious crises facing the middle class and working families. So Hillary Clinton and I have some strong disagreements. I mentioned a moment ago, I want to see the minimum wage raised over a period of years to $15 an hour. She has not been clear on that. I am very concerned, and have been for many years, about our trade policies, which I believe have been a disaster. That's NAFTA, CAFTA, permanent normal trade relations with China, this TPP that we're debating right now. I have opposed these agreements because I think they have resulted in the loss of millions of jobs as factories shut down here and go to China and other low-wage countries. Hillary Clinton has, as I understand it, had no position on the TPP. I believe that climate change is one of the great planetary crises that we face. I sit on both the Energy and Environmental Committee, and I can tell you I've talked to scientists from all over the world. Climate change is real. It is already causing devastating problems. It is of human origin. We have a window of opportunity to have to deal with this and deal with it aggressively, or else this planet that we're leaving to our kids and grandchildren is going to be in very difficult shape. I am opposed to the construction of the Keystone Pipeline. Hillary Clinton has not voiced an opinion on that. I believe we should expand Social Security benefits, not cut them. Hillary Clinton doesn't have a position on that. So I think it is fair to say that we like each other, we respect each other, we have different opinions on some of the major issues facing our country.
Blackmon. From the University of Virginia's Miller Center, this is American Forum.